What's going on, guys? So in front of me, you were looking at a product that may not be that unfamiliar to you if you follow my channel sponsor, etrailer.com, because they've been putting out a ton of content on this thing, and it is really freaking cool. And with me today, I got my good friend Tyler. How are you doing, brother?
I'm doing great.
You're doing good. You don't realize this guy's like 7'8", so makes me look a little taller. Actually, no, you're not Jake. Jake's the one that's like 7'11".
Yeah. Shower barely hits my head. Jake's standing through the roof.
Yeah, he needs that dome above the sunroof.
Yes, exactly.
That said, we're going to talk about what's in front of us today. This is such a cool product. There are some things you definitely want to be aware of if you go with something like this. Mainly how much stuff you're going to put in it. We'll be right back. Okay, Tyler, what are we looking at? Actually, I know what we're looking at, but I'll let you take an opportunity to explain what we're looking at.
We have an RV cargo carrier cage here. So this is actually two separate parts. We do actually sell the platform rack here itself. And this cage can be sold individually. It fits most standard sizing racks by itself. And it also comes as two parts together. So we have two different sizes. We have the standard size here. And then we also have the extended version, which is going to be a little bit wider. You can fit a little bit more into it.
Okay, so what I typically see with these cargo carriers, let's ignore the cage for a second. These cargo carriers typically have a maximum cargo capacity of around 500 pounds. And they usually weigh about 30, 40 pounds sometimes, maybe a little less if they're aluminum, a little more if they're steel. And then the way you attach it to your RV is usually on the 4-inch bumper, so you have a cool clamping system right there, or they attach to your 2-inch receiver that come off the back of your RV on some RVs. Not all RVs are going to have that 2-inch receiver, but many of them do, and if it's not for towing, it's meant for like a cargo carrier like this. That said, we were talking about the weight of the cage itself. And what we kind of came up with based off of what they told me is depending on the weight of your carrier down here, adding this on top, you should have a combined weight when empty of, let's just say, between 90 to maybe 120 pounds.
Correct. In
that range, depending on the construction of the carrier you have, and of course the hitching mechanism, whether it's going to go into the receiver, because this may vary slightly. So this doesn't have its own cargo carrying capacity because it's simply designed to go onto a platform that has its own cargo carrying capacity. So technically, this takes away from your cargo carrying capacity. So if that's a 500-pound capacity, take the weight of this off, let's just say 80 pounds roughly, in that range, maybe a little bit less. Actually, I think that's a lot less. I think more like 60 pounds, but you just take 60 pounds off your 500-pound capacity. But you guys know me, I never like to load anything up to capacity on the back of an RV. That said, what was the inspiration behind this?
The inspiration is there's not a lot out there for it, right? I mean, there's a big part, and there's a lot of inspiration around the security of this. So think about you have your cooler. You have a really nice cooler that you want to not carry in and out of your hotel or something like that. You can just leave it in here, leave it locked up. It's going to be protected. Like any kind of security device, it's more of a deterrent than anything. But trust me, this is quite the deterrent. If you have a generator, you can just leave it back here. You don't have to haul that back and forth wherever you're moving. So that's kind of the inspiration. It's a mix of it's nice, it can pack things really well, and then there's that security feature, that feeling that whatever you have in there is going to be fine to leave.
Yeah, and for me, it's like you're going down the road with your fifth wheel or your RV, you have this on the back, maybe loaded up with like a cooler or maybe a bunch of random luggage that just appears behind you while you're talking, and you put it back here. Maybe you have a foldable e-bike or something that weighs like 60, 70, 80 pounds. You throw it back here. What you don't want to have to worry about is every stop sign or red light when you're traveling through a city. You don't want to have to worry about when you stop at a gas station to go inside to use the restroom or to grab a coffee cup. You don't want to worry about that stuff. And by having something like this, it just mitigates the chance. It reduces the chance that somebody's going to get something quickly. Most of the people that go to the back of your RV or the back of your trailer to steal stuff, they're doing it because it's an opportunity thing. They see it there, they see maybe there's one cable that's holding it in place, and they just run and grab it because it's that easy. When you have something like this, I see that you have these pins right here that could easily be removed and replaced with locks. So you could lock it twice right there. Plus, if you wanted to use that chain or that cable that you bought that weighs, you know, a lot and you spent so much money on it, you could even cable it down to the interior of this. So that's one less thing you have to worry about. But the reality of this is it's just like a lock. It's a theft deterrent. And most people who are thieves of opportunity and they see your RV parked at the gas pump at a Flying J and they see the e-bike on the back or the generator on the back and your bungee cords holding it in place, they pull up real quick, snatch it, because there's nothing deterring them from doing that. And this can definitely help. But what we're going to do now is we're going to kind of demonstrate what type of a load you can throw in it. Nothing here is outrageously heavy. This is all pretty much camping gear stuff that you may not want to put in your vehicle. Let's say you have a fifth wheel and you just don't have room to put it in the bed of your truck and the fifth wheel's already full of stuff and you have this extra stuff. Tyler, you mind if we start throwing this stuff inside?
I got it.
We have one big duffel bag here. I think that might be a tent or sleeping bag.
Yeah, it's a big sleeping bag.
Got a couple hiking bags here. Got some more stuff. Again, don't put a person in here. Don't put an animal in here.
Nothing
don't put
with
anything.
A heartbeat. It's just a good
anything
rule.
with a heartbeat is a great example. And don't put food inside there unless it's in a cooler, because you know, you
Yeah,
just
something
start.
I've never thought about. Yeah, an animal could definitely get in
Yeah,
there.
you don't want to stack stuff inside of here. You don't want to do things that could go bad, and you don't want to make it, you know, essentially a feeder cage for something either. And you can easily fit a lot more in here. You can compress this stuff down. And again, all of this probably weighs maybe 60, 70 pounds.
Yeah, not too much.
The goal here isn't that you ever try to overload the rack. The goal here is that you have a means to add some things, carry some things with you with some protection that otherwise wasn't available to you. And I think that ultimately, you guys have created an outstanding product to help protect the stuff that is important to folks whenever they put it on the back of their RV, but they've never really had a way to secure except for maybe a cable or bungee cords.
Yes.
So that is really cool.
And the one other cool feature about this is a lot of people carry generators or gas cans that might let off vapors, and you don't want that in an enclosed space, right? You don't want an enclosed cargo carrier where all those vapors are going to get just sucked into there. So this allows it to breathe a little bit and let those vapors out.
Breathe a little bit.
A lot, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of breathing room here. These are some pretty big air holes you've punched through it. Oh, that is really, really cool. Anyways, yeah, this is a pretty dang phenomenal.
On my light?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Okay.
Guys, we'll put a link in the description of this video to this product. Again, they have it in several different sizes and configurations for different types of trailers, different types of bumpers, different widths, things like that. Go check them out, especially if you want to see what the pricing is. They'll have all the pricing available on etrailer.com. Again, if you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Give us a thumbs up, and we'll talk to you again very soon.